Welcome back to In Conversation With, the video series where I interview small business owners to really get under their skin in terms of what it takes to run a small business, or in fact a side hustle like my guest today does. Just a quick one, if you like what you see today, I'd love it if you could share it with friends, family members who you think would get great value from it as well, because the more that you share it, the more that I can continue producing material like this and hopefully inspiring you or even future small business owners as well. So, I'm here today with my wonderful guest, Vicky Ford from VF Empowerment. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Excellent.
The sun's shining.
The sun is shining. We've had a little bit of difficulty setting up for today's interview, but I'll tell you more about where we're at in a second. But Vicky, you are a careers advisor to young adults and also their parents, aren't you?
Yes.
Which is very interesting. We're going to kind of talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But going back to our setting for today, we are in Oldham Library, and they have kindly let us film here, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
There's a specific reason we chose the library, isn't there?
There is.
For your interview.
Yeah.
What is that reason?
Well, my mum and dad were both librarians, and my dad was a major part in the team that made this happen, the gallery and the library and the lifelong learning centre. So I feel a real affinity being around books, being here.
Yeah.
Love spending time in here. I did my sewing classes here, and I just think it's a great way of bringing communities together through books, through arts, through
Knowledge.
learning and knowledge. Yeah, exactly. So it feels great space.
It is a wonderful space, and we're sat here in front of the windows as well, large windows where we've got views right over the hills of Saddleworth and the rest of London, so it is like perfect. I suppose careers these days, you know, we're here in a library, and a librarian once upon a time was a job that you had for life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you call yourself in your Instagram bio a career advisor for the new millennium.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the world of work is massively changing, and I think that the old way of careers advice and preparing a young person for one career, so I want to be a doctor, I want to be a librarian, I want to be a teacher, I think that's a thing of the past. And I think what we've got to do is start to prepare our next generation for the skills that they're going to need to manage their careers rather than just one career or one job. They reckon that 65% of young people will go into jobs that haven't even been invented yet. And that's really like you, isn't it? You know, when we were at school, your job, it wasn't in existence. We didn't have social media. So it becomes increasingly important to think wider than just what does it take, what qualifications does it take, what skills does it take to get into this one career. It becomes about how am I going to manage my career and make the most out of it, and what does success mean to me, how does it interlink with my values. And that's my aim really, to get young people to think about that, but also to educate parents about that as well, because I find it overwhelming sometimes.
That's the interesting point. You touch on parents as well and their role within that. And I think your decision, you host not only coaching sessions, workshops for young adults, but as you say, for their parents as well. Because you don't often get careers advice for parents and helping them to navigate that pathway with their child. So how did you spot that? And how did you know it was the right thing to go for?
Well, I spotted it just through my career, really, through being at parents' evenings and the wide-eyed bewilderment of parents going, oh my goodness, you know, I don't know about what does an apprenticeship mean, you know, what, just that confusion, because things have changed since their day. At the same time as all these massive changes are happening, and really exciting changes, careers advice and guidance has been decimated. So young people aren't always getting this full programme from school that they need, so they need the influence of their parents, and they need the parents to be upskilled and equipped to help them to navigate those changes.
What are some of the specific challenges that parents face when trying to engage in that conversation with their children?
Well, I would say the eye roll. People just, you know, it's your mum or dad, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're like, you know, what do you want to be when you get older? Oh, don't ask me that again.
Is it up there with the conversation about the birds and the bees?
Probably, yeah, second only to. But I think the main thing is just not knowing what the pathways are, what the options are, and how that world of work is changing. If I'm talking to parents about key information about what that means, then they're more equipped to have those conversations, and it not to be just this sort of, what do you want to do when you're older?
Is there a right age to start having that discussion about careers?
Well, I would say it's never too early. And for me, I think the main thing that I'm trying to encourage the students that I work with is to be curious. I think curiosity is the key. So you can be curious about careers at any age.
Because I remember when we were at school, you'd get 1 hour possibly with a careers advisor, and it was almost like one of those maps where it was like, well, what subjects do you like?
Yeah.
And therefore, go right or left, yes or no. Yeah, exactly. And then, oh right, well therefore you should be a journalist. Yeah. And it's like, right, okay, I'll be a journalist.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a real misconception of what careers guidance is. And guidance is all about delving deeper and talking about motivations and values and, how that work is going to impact on your life as well. And that's the part that I find really fascinating.
It's interesting in terms of the soft skills that you talk about, and those being transferable to any potential career, multiple careers that lie ahead, and yet through education there's a lot of process, I suppose. You're given a timetable of you spend 1 hour doing this, then you move to that room and you do this, and so for 16 plus years or so you are having this structure in your life, and then suddenly it's off you go.
Absolutely.
What is it that you want to do for the rest of your life?
Definitely. And I call it the eye of the storm as well, that young people are in the eye of the storm. They're making these decisions at the same time as hormones are raging.
That's a good point.
Puberty's hitting, they're not sure about themselves, there's some bravado there, but actually underneath, they're delicate and they're being asked to make all these decisions. And at the time when they're being told that these GCSEs count for everything and you've got to do well at this, and it's like, they must just be, well, they are. I work with them and they're overwhelmed sometimes. So I think it's taking that, in conversations that I'll have with young people, it's about taking that pressure off and again, encouraging that curiosity and saying, listen, you're not deciding forever. You're basically looking at what's out there and what fits with your skills and thinking about, I'm open to this or I'm open to that. And those choices will help me be open.
And I think it's that flexibility, and you've acknowledged the fact that you can have multiple careers throughout your lifetime as such. What can parents and younger children expect when they come to one of your sessions?
I just want there to be another offer for people. The work that I do face-to-face with young people and students, I recommend about 4 sessions because I don't believe guidance is a process. It raises more questions than it answers. So the first session is about really establishing rapport and getting to know that young person and talking about what makes them tick and what their likes and dislikes are, and talking to them about what's out there and always checking their knowledge about what they know so that I'm not telling them something that they already know. And then really working between appointments as well and signposting them to different websites, places they can explore more information and encouraging them to be curious. In terms of the workshops with parents, I generally go through the different pathways, talk about the changing world of work and give them a taste, and my aim would be then to do more focused sessions. So for example, one particularly on apprenticeship, so I give them a bit of a whistle-stop tour at the moment.
But then they have that ability to deep dive in a specific area based on the conversations you're having with their child.
The closer fit, the happier you're going to be.
I think happiness is a good point you make. We spend so much of our lives at work.
Absolutely.
And to think that you go to a job or a career that you really don't have an immediate connection with or a passion for, and to do that for the next 30, 40, possibly longer years, depending on when the sort of like official retirement age is always increasing.
Absolutely.
Then it's sort of,
now are going to be working for, way
decades.
into
Decades. Which is that. So therefore, it's even more important that they realise that A, there's a world of opportunity out there, and that B, they are in control of being able to navigate their way through that. And it's okay to not have one sort of like end destination as such. There is this wonderful pathway of exploration along the way.
Exactly, and it's weird. And I try and communicate that excitement about, because it is exciting. Most people you talk to say, "Oh, if I had my time over, I'd do this or that," and I'm trying. You can't put an old head on your shoulders, can you? But my career as a career advisor began because I got it wrong.
Right.
I was trained to be a primary school teacher.
Right.
I'd done all the right things. I'd done work experience. I'd researched. But all I'd done was go out there and look for evidence that it was right for me.
Right,
I hadn't really looked at, what as a whole and what else is out there. And I got 2.5 years through my course, about to go out on the year-long placement, and thought, this isn't for me,
That's quite brave that you thought, you acknowledged that within you and said, this isn't for me. Well, how did you feel at that time?
Oh God, it was a nightmare. I remember phoning my dad and saying I'm coming home, and he went, I don't think you are.
You now?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
we've already converted your bedroom.
Yeah. And 24 hours later, he was at the door and helping me to sort things out, because that's the kind of dad he was. Careers advisor just dropped into my lap, really. My mum was a school librarian, and she worked alongside a career advisor. Well, the career advisor used her library. And she just said, why don't you come in and see what it's like? And I did, and I loved it. And I was then able to, at my interview for the course, to be able to talk about, well, actually, I've had this experience, so I know how important it is to think about, things more widely. So those curves, and they're what make you laugh.
They are, aren't they? And I think a lot of employers now look for something other than just, great grades and marks and qualifications. They want to see people who have experience, who can add something to their team. Because a lot of smart companies nowadays, they hire for the cultural fit.
Yeah, you can't make somebody into a person, but you can teach them how to do something. And I was at a briefing from a company called UK Fast the other week. They were talking about apprenticeships, and they had a pyramid, and knowledge was at the top, the smallest part of what they look for. Skills next, attitude the biggest part of what they look for.
That is huge, isn't it? Because I think that goes back to what you were saying before, referring to it. It's about getting the right combination of people in the workspace so that it's conducive to an inspirational, uplifting, positive mindset space that, in the end, or one of the kind of benefits, I suppose, to the company in terms of it becomes a hell of a lot more productive, and people want to work there, and it's a great environment. But for an individual, being to be placed within that sort of environment is great for nurturing talent, for expertise, for passion, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So you have a distinct look about you, which speaks to your creative personality most definitely. I mean, for a startup, I love the whole look today. And usually, most of your close friends know you for having pink hair, and not the toned down version that you have for your daytime job. But how important is creativity, do you think, and the art subjects in this sort of like new world of careers?
Oh, creativity is massive. It's one of the main skills that young people are going to need. It's what sets us apart from the robots that are coming to get our jobs, apparently, but they're not. It's what sets us apart. And for me, creativity is it's just the lifeblood of who I am. And the irony is, I didn't think it was. At school, I wasn't good at art. I think at school, if you don't fit into the narrow convention of what they need you to be in terms of art or sport, then you just start to typecast yourself as, well, I'm not creative, or I'm not sporty. And actually, there's so many different ways of being sporty, so many different ways of being creative.
When we first met, you were running VF Empowerment as your brand or business. as a single entity.
Yes.
But since then, you've gone back into full term time employment. What impact does it make going back into an industry role on the VF empowerment business side of things?
I think for me, it's really boosted my confidence. So I'm learning stuff in my day job, for want of a better word, that I can apply to my business and vice versa.
I think some people, when they go into potentially looking to set up their own business, you often hear that they, feel the need to leave behind their industry job, completely quit that, and then start from scratch in terms of their own business. I did that.
That's
It
really
is a
great, though, and
It is great, but it's very challenging.
Yeah.
But I think that blend that you talk about and being able to feed off one another, I think is a really great way. And there are plenty of people that have side hustles where then the balance tips and they reach a tipping point in that where they go, right, okay, well now I think it's right for me creatively, economically, to be able to leave my industry or my day job and then really focus fully on my business.
Definitely. I mean, and I would never have, I don't think I'd have ever made that leap without it being taken out of my hands to do that, and I needed to have that push because I would have just stayed safe with what I knew, and actually it's been the best thing that's happened to me. And sometimes necessity is the mother of all invention, isn't it? This sort of thing. You have to open your eyes to the opportunities and start thinking about yourself differently. And I'd always thought, I'm not the kind of person who has my own business. Well, what does that even mean?
And also, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And it's those constructs we tell ourselves, isn't it? Those self-constructs that we start to believe, that narrative that we've got around ourselves. And now I feel like I'm really breaking down some of those things, which is a really good place to be.
So you almost had to give yourself a bit of your own career's advice.
Oh, always. Yeah. Physician, heal thyself.
That's a fit. What advice would you give to your younger self now, knowing that you've been through that diversity in terms of both an industry career and setting up your own business?
I think when you think about what advice you'd give your younger self, it's almost like you'd be giving yourself advice so you'd miss some of the things out. And I'm the kind of person who wouldn't. I've had some pretty, rubbish things happen to me, but I actually wouldn't cut any of it out because that's informed the person that I am. And I don't think I would be this person if I hadn't had those setbacks, had those knocks. And so I think maybe the advice I'd give myself is around more of the self-belief and to sort of think, to challenge myself earlier on those things that I was telling myself and that those self-constructs I've built up.
I think the thing that you mentioned there in terms of not waiting so long in order to take that leap and just doing it as well. I wish in a way that I'd been brave enough to have started the business a lot earlier than having done it when I was 40. But then, like you say, it happened for a reason, and all of that experience that I gained in industry is serving me now, hopefully well. Right, well, thank you so much for doing that. It's been an absolute blast, chit-chatting and stuff.
I love it.
We'll pop in the bottom of the comment section, I'll pop your Instagram feed as well, so definitely go and take a look at what Vicky's doing over on Instagram. She has beautiful posts, hand sort of like drawn via your iPad. Very creative. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I shall catch up with you soon. See you later.